Hey guys, Erin Nicole, creator of the Move Happy movement. So I'm actually filming this on Sunday this week, but this is Wednesday, unless you're across the world in a particular area, it might be Thursday for you. But I'm so blessed that I can shoot all my videos, that God has healed my mind so much to give me so much clarity and planning and forethought to be able to present you information on a daily basis so that I can still do each and every day and not feel like stressed and overwhelmed. Like, this is honestly really fun for me doing this work. It's not work for me. I've created a system where I get to design my own life. And soon sponsorship dollars will be coming in. I know it. I feel it. There's so many people reaching out to me telling me that they know so-and-so that's planning on sending money my way to help me so that I can help more people like you. And I couldn't imagine trying to pretend to be that of which I am right now and not be authentic with where I'm at, adding fun to every single aspect of my life. I couldn't imagine faking it. And I think you guys can sense that through the screen. So what I'm going to talk about today is really near and dear to my heart. Because I have a degree in K-12 health and fitness, physical education. I taught in the schools pre-K through 12th grade. Additionally, in graduate school, I taught in exchange. They paid my tuition at Oregon State University to teach fitness classes that I taught myself right before I showed up, and then I improved upon because I had to keep a 4.5, I think, star rating from my students. And if they were bored to death, they could give me a 1 star and I'd be kicked out of school. So I was motivated to do a good job. And my master's degree is in exercise and sports psychology. I have a passion and an interest to get people globally to be fit for life because I know how much it has healed me and protected my mind when I struggled my first time at 14 years old and didn't talk to anybody for 2 weeks, and learned that running really helped me and getting back into singing really helped me, and also not doing too many things and focusing on just keeping things simple helped me to bring healing to myself. So when I read this particular article, it really stood out to me as this is a piece of the journey that I need to share with you because of all the aha moments I've had in my upbringing and through my schooling and professional experiences, but also because it's real life. So here we go. How are people around the world adding more fun to their day? So I found this really cool article titled Physical Activity Epidemiology. So that's just a study of diseases. So physical activity and then the study of diseases tied in. So they were measuring the association of parenting practices in out-of-school physical activity in the United States adolescents in 2014, so super recent. What most stood out to me was, number one, parental pressure was 1.41 times more likely to influence adolescent choice in out-of-school physical activity. So the parents' influence, verbal influence pressure. Number two, guided choice was 2.17 times increase odds of out-of-school physical activity of 15 to 17-year-olds. So where they guided the choice, but they didn't force the choice. And then facilitation, number three, facilitation was associated with more out-of-school physical activity for 12 to 14-year-olds by 2.21-fold. And the best one that stood out to me was number four, monitoring. So just observing, like some teachers just roll a ball out and let your students do their thing. Or some group therapists will just sit there and let the patients share in their authenticity and their pain and not share their own. Monitoring was associated with 66% less physical activity for 15 to 17-year-olds and 55% less for 12 to 14-year-olds. You guys, you cannot just facilitate, monitor, and not give from your heart and share your own learnings and your own aha moments and your own authenticity. That is why I've grown and accelerated my brand so fast online, because I have shared and been real with you guys. I didn't just present information and then say, hey, watch this video that I found online. No, I gave you personal and professional experiences. I encourage you to do that in whatever profession you are in. I know I 100% know that it will help you. There's additionally, I lost my train of thought here. I'm just extremely passionate about that. I know hands down my Move Happy group therapy program that was billable to the state of Washington from 2016 to 2017 that I ran not once, not twice, but 3 times and earned a promotion. I shared from my heart with the patients. That is why they spread word around the hospital. Okay. And last but not least, friend support increased odds of out of school physical activity. Are you ready for this? 403% in the 15 to 17 year group. So for our teenagers, 15 to 17 years old, if they had a friend, they were 403% more likely to be physically active. And, excuse me, 305% increase from the 12 to 14 year group. So that might be obvious to many of you, but those of you that lost your train of thought because this video is a little longer than you're used to watching, make sure you have a friend for your kid that's in sports, physical activity. If you want them to join that Taekwondo group, have them find a friend to go with them because they're more likely to stick and stay when they have someone to play with them. And it's another reason why my Move Happy therapy program in the hospital, billable to the state, that's not officially therapy yet, but it was group therapy paid and charged to the state of Washington because my boss loves to break rules for good reasons. The patients started sharing it with their roommates that many of them were friends with their roommates that lived on the wards with them. That's why we had a wait list, because they started spreading word because I was actually incorporating their feedback. I made it fun for them. Sayaka, my co-facilitator, is a licensed mental health therapist. She enjoyed it. She also participated and she facilitated. She was a Zumba licensed instructor. So one of the terms, we tried that out to see if there was interest. There wasn't as much interest in it. But we were just trying different things to get them engaged, and they started spreading word to their friends. We had a wait list that could not fit in the room because we had max capacity fire marshal laws. And then we had a waiting line every single day. Patients were excited to come to our group because we did something different every single day, and they knew that we loved and cared for them and we wanted them to heal. The recidivism rate was 9 times. So that recidivism means patient goes through the program, goes through the process, gets discharged, comes back. Goes through the program, goes through the process, gets discharged, comes back 9 times. Their system was broken. All of us taxpayers are paying that. They don't want to talk about it, right? Because it's embarrassing. But I have a strong feeling that Washington State is no different from Oregon State. It's no different from New York State. There might be, maybe it's 7 times in your state recidivism rate. But I have a strong feeling that this program is going to bring healing and save countries money, save taxpayers money once it gets disseminated to all VA hospitals, which I'm in process with. And then once the veterans, once they approve of it, that is what helps spread it even faster because they get the most funding for our veterans. I'm a thinker. Okay. I do have a story from the group, and I'm going to try and cut this out before it hits 10 minutes so that it can upload on LinkedIn and I don't have to put it on my YouTube. First, the U.S. Marine, high-level executive of corporate America, that was a part of my group the first round and then the third round. He was not able to. He took another group the second round. He wanted to, but there was something else that his treatment team wanted him to work on. One day, he was my protector, and he did a lot of good in the culture there, as well as heal himself through his process. He says, I'm remembering my PT days and I'm starting to work out in my room. By the third round, I believe this is when he said this. I'm using my bed to elevate me. So his hands were on the bed. So a little bit easier for him. I want to say he was a Desert Storm veteran, but he might have been Vietnam. I forget. And so he elevated his push-ups, his hands on the bed. He says that they helped him with his upper body until he could start to get down on the ground and be confident that he could get back up. He was real talk with me. He's like, I'm not getting down there because I know that I will not get back up. First round. By the third round, he was like, no, I'm starting to do it. And so he started doing it in his room. You guys, I didn't make the 10-minute marks. We're just going to keep going because I got more stories to tell you. And so the stats from the study for the tweens to teens, it's transferable. I know it's transferable to adults as well. No one likes to be monitored, okay? People like to participate with those that are participating with them. I know as a female doing group fitness instruction, and also coordinating and discussing with other female fitness instructors, we feel violated and very uncomfortable when a man is in the room and they're just sitting and watching in the back. We feel like whatever their thoughts are, we feel like they're violating us sexually. And I'm just going to be blunt about it. Work out. If you're going to show up to work out, don't just sit there and make a woman feel uncomfortable. It's not acceptable. So I remember we actually had an exercise physiologist of the U.S. Air Force. He came when I was in my undergrad as a guest lecturer at Pacific Lutheran University. Frances was the instructor of the class. Frances Brisenia Wendell. She's a military spouse of the Air Force, and I should say he's retired now. He did 20 full years, I think 21. She reached out to her connections at the Air Force to help us deepen our learning. She was transitioning all the time with her husband, and she was new to our school. She knew she didn't know everything, so she connected us to the best of the best. And I remember this particular person because when I then graduated from graduate school, I met him again when I was a health educator at JBLM, because he came and helped us with our trainings for the baseline fitness testing on the bicycles and whatnot to get their cardiorespiratory sub-max, VO2 max. So he told us his job is to work with the red line soldiers. And when I say red line, those of you that are not in the military, there is their standard of excellence is the BMI, which is a certain equation, height and weight. And if their BMI score is too high, according to this designed graph that was created from a lawyer, not a health educator, by the way, that's a story in itself, they would get sent to him to then, he told us he would monitor them while they're on the bike test, or if they were able to do the treadmill test, and during their workouts. And if they could not meet the PT scores, every 6 months, they would have to be monitored from him. So it was punishment, like they hated it. And if we transferred the learning from this particular study, and no disrespect to the military, but sometimes it takes enough of a lot of people saying the same thing in order for change to happen. I love our military branches. I love all of the research that I've been a part of, and I know there's a ton of research all the time. If we transfer this particular study, 65% and 55% decrease in desire to be physically active because those particular teenagers and tweens were being monitored and not engaged. The person that was facilitating it was just watching them instead of joining them. I think we could do a lot of good to our military, our active duty soldiers that are borderline or obese. I think we can help encourage them to then want to work out outside of work hours because we're showing them that we're taking the lead and we're not just telling them, okay? So that's my particular opinion on the subject. I know that it has worked for me. I know I get way more engagement anytime I facilitate group fitness classes. If I am participating, my students work out harder. When I was facilitating Move Happy as a part of the psychiatric hospital with adult patients ages from 20s all the way up to, I believe, 80s, of all gender, of all race, of all religious backgrounds. It did not matter because they were there for mental health reasons. Most of them, 87%, had schizophrenia. Many had a second disorder, and almost all of them had co-occurring addiction to either drugs or alcohol or both. They worked out harder because I did it with them, and they loved it. They loved it enough to help me earn a promotion in 7 months that my boss told me when she was kindly trying to discourage me. I think she didn't want to lose me in the department because I was going for a promotion that was in another department. She said, Erin, I hate to hold you back from your dreams, but I've been here for 30 years. No one's even been interviewed without a state license in therapy. They really want licensed therapists here. I go to all the meetings. I know. And I was like, okay, cool. Thanks for your feedback. And in my mind, I was like, watch me. 7 months later, I earned that promotion that no one in her 30 years was ever even interviewed for. And I do believe a lot of that was the Holy Spirit protecting me during that time, because my father died my third day there with patients. My divorce finalized 2 months prior to that. This was not an easy year for me, and I was able to keep pressing forward and have fun. I had so much fun, you guys. This was the most fun year ever. It was also the most painful year, but when we focus on giving and contributing to others, that's when we can really feel joy and happiness in our day. So check out the article in the comments. Share your thoughts, wisdom, ideas, and don't forget to tell someone you love them today. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.